everyone. Welcome to another episode of Decoded, our show for OutSystems developers featuring OutSystems developers. My name is Eliza, and I'm the Community Engagement Manager for OutSystems in North America. I'm joined, of course, by my colleague and co-host, who I'll let introduce himself. Logan?
Hello, OutSystems community. My name is Logan Braid. I'm developer advocate here at OutSystems in North America, and I am so excited to be here. Before we jump in, though, we've got a couple of announcements for you. So first up, One Conference in Lisbon. Unleash innovation at One, where OutSystems experts, industry leaders, and customers showcase how AI-powered low-code creates extraordinary apps. Join us for 2 amazing days at the Ultimate Tech Conference of 2025. Eliza's going to be there. I'm going to be there. The whole DevRel team is going to be there. And of course, the OutSystems community is going to be there. So come hang out with us and get your tickets today.
Can't make it to Lisbon? Join us on the world tour. We were just in Tokyo on September 10th, and our next stop is beautiful Miami on November 19th. It'll be an awesome one-day event with both a business and technical track. Hear from global enterprise leaders, visionary developers, and AI innovators. Don't miss the talks, demos, and networking. Now, some of you may not be able to make it to Lisbon or Miami. Logan and I will be streaming live from One September 30th and October 1st, 8 hours of streaming with more than 40 guests. We'll be chatting with speakers, developers, and OutSystems team members. The link is below in the description for you to sign up, either here on YouTube or on LinkedIn. Now, I know it's been a minute since you've seen us, but we've got a very, very special guest for this Decoded relaunch. I would love to welcome OutSystems' new CEO, Woodson Martin, to his first ever Decoded episode.
Woodson, welcome to the show. We're so excited to have you here. And as Eliza said in the intro, this is a show for OutSystems developers featuring OutSystems developers. So I'd love for you to just take a moment, introduce yourself to our community and our 874,000 members.
Wow. Well, thank you. It's a great honor to be here. Thanks, Logan. Eliza. My name is Woodson Martin. I'm the new CEO of OutSystems. Been with the company about 4 months now, and incredibly excited to engage with this community of over 800,000 developers, people who are helping us advance the technology, helping make our customers successful, building their careers really on the technology that we provide. And it's just an honor to be here. I'm super excited to connect live in person with many of you later this month at the One Conference also. So thank you.
Amazing. So I know you did a whole lot of homework on OutSystems as a company and a platform when you were initially considering the role. Can you tell us a little bit about that process? And did you actually get a chance to develop with OutSystems?
Yeah, great question. Okay, yes, answer to the last question there. I'll get back to that. You know, I knew about OutSystems for years. I was at Salesforce for 18 years. A lot of that time in the platform team. We always knew about OutSystems because we were there together in the Magic Quadrant for low-code platforms. But I really didn't know what do customers do with OutSystems? What is the experience of the platform? And so I wanted to do a lot of that research. I talked to a lot of customers. I think I met 17 customers, developers, maybe some of you who are listening here today who answered my questions. Before I took the role, I literally went on to G2, the developer community, looked up identities of people, reached out to them on LinkedIn, which is like, hey, will you talk to me about OutSystems? I learned a ton. So that was great. But of course, I wanted to get my hands on the product. And did and spent time learning and understanding ODC principally, the easiest part to get for me through that process. And so I started with Mentor. I built an app, the same app actually on like 19 different platforms to kind of do a compare. I picked an app from like a local community directory app, and I was like, tried all the vibe coding things. I tried Mentor. I was like, what can I build with this technology? Interestingly enough, the app I built on Mentor is the only one of those I actually got working. Honestly, I was a little more motivated to make that work perhaps, but did get some hands-on experience with the product and Also, of course, the indirect experience of a lot of conversations with people who use the platform and build with our platform and and manage portfolios of applications on our platform. So it was a great learning experience. I'm so glad I did it. And I really discovered the passion that so many of you have for OutSystems through that research. And grateful to have the opportunity now to join the company, lead the effort, and deliver more of what you need from us.
Amazing. So now that you've joined, I'm sure it's been a whirlwind start. What has stood out to you in your first few months? And maybe a little bit selfishly, what have you heard about and from our developer community so far?
Well, one thing that stood out is how international we are. I have spent a lot of time on airplanes and in hotels and in customer offices around the world, which has been an incredible learning experience for me, an honor to be able to engage deeply with customers, with developers, with executives in those customer communities, and also with our partners. It's been amazing, from Thailand to Japan to Boston, the mid-Atlantic coast of the United States. Yesterday, out in San Diego, California, but time in Lisbon and France and the UK. It's been kind of unbelievable, the spread. And everywhere I go, I learn something new. So I hope someday I'll get to wherever you are. But that's been awesome. I would say, what have I heard about the developer community? I mean, I've heard directly from the developer community. Many of you reached out to me on LinkedIn or the developer community like the day I started or in the week since. So thank you. I've had a chance to have some direct conversations, not as many as I'm looking forward to doing at the One conference. And, I think what we have here is a pretty passionate community. Lots of passion, not necessarily always, enthusiastic about any one thing we've done. Like I think we've done some things as a company over the years that weren't super popular with our developer community, other things that everybody's really fired up about. And then everybody has their own particular stuff. All that feedback is helpful for us, right? That's how we get better, is by listening. And so I'm committed to doing that. And I think I'm feeling pretty confident that many of our developers in our developer community are willing to speak up. And so that's super exciting for me.
Yeah, actually, speaking of our developer community, we actually put out a call for questions from our OutSystems MVPs.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah, and so we got a lot of responses, and so for the next few questions are actually going to be from them. So our first question is from Sia Al-Haq and from Headfitter, based in Luxembourg. And he asks, are there any strategies or lessons from your time at Salesforce that you think could help grow and support the developer community here at OutSystems?
I do. Thanks for the question. I think Salesforce did a pretty amazing job of building what it calls the trailblazer community. And it was because it was an important priority and focus for the CEO of the company and for the company as a whole. I firmly believe that the principal way that technology companies like OutSystems grow our footprint and impact in the world is through the people who learn, use, and spread the technology for us. I think there's a huge opportunity for us to learn from the example of the Trailblazer community at Salesforce here at OutSystems. And it will be an important part of my priorities as the incoming CEO. And looking forward to all your help to make that happen. But really, that's about developing the community. It's about celebrating the success of our developers and showcasing their work, your work, helping build careers, building our business so that those growing careers have more opportunity to have more impact in the world. And that is a sort of a flywheel strategy. We had that at Salesforce, and I think we have the start of that here. And I'm excited about continuing to build momentum, excitement, and support in our developer community.
That's awesome. So some of our questions from our MVPs came in just days after you first started. So our next one from MVP Miguel Antunes from Volantic, based in Portugal, might have a very easy answer because of our announcement last month. Developers on O11 have seen steady improvements over the years, which have been a big part of why they value the platform. As OutSystems explores new tech like containers and AI and ODC, how will you make sure devs working in O11 keep getting the innovation and capabilities they need to deliver great solutions?
Great question. Honestly, squarely in the middle of the feedback I hear from customers everywhere. And I think probably most of our developer community knows by now, we've actually made decisions and announced plans to continue the life of OutSystems 11 platform indefinitely. Part of that, of course, is a roadmap of feature evolution, new capabilities in the O11 stack. And for that, I'm excited to invite you all to come to our one conference or tune in if you can't be there in person to hear about some of those exciting announcements and what we're doing there. We're building that roadmap, of course, on the basis of feedback from our community. A big part of our strategy today is going from the idea that, hey, everybody come over here to our cloud native platform ODC, migrate what you've built over here on O11. And when I talk to customers and when I talk to developers, they are like, we love what we built on O11. We don't want to move it. We don't want your agenda to drive our agenda. Like what we want, we love a lot of the innovation over here. We love Agent Workbench. We love Mentor. We love these new ideas, but we want those on top of what we already have with O11. We want to build and reuse the data structures, the applications, the workflow, the APIs that we've built on O11, and we want to build agentic systems on top of that. So you need to make these things work together. That's what we call platform unification, big part of our strategy here. So you'll see not only functional enhancement of O11, but also work to better integrate and really simplify the use of O11 and the capabilities in our cloud native platform going forward. And that's based on your feedback. So thank you.
Yeah, and in your last response, you just kind of touched a little bit on agentic AI. And actually, our next question is about agentic AI. So our MVP, Roy van der Kerkhoff from NovioQ, based in the Netherlands, asked, looking at how agentic AI will impact the way people interact with software, how is OutSystems working to embrace this shift and the future of human AI collaboration?
Yeah, great question. So we think what we have launched with Agent Workbench, and a huge thank you to all of you. We got 104 customers and partners who are engaged in our early access program. At least that was the number earlier this week. And getting great feedback on the product. But what we're hearing from customers, I mean, people are enthusiastic about AI in general, generative AI specifically, and agentic systems in particular. But I haven't met a single CIO, I haven't met a single customer who thinks that agents in their business will operate in isolation. Everybody believes that the future is collaboration between humans and agents who can speed up, improve quality, reliability of mundane work that is often done today by people, but where they can integrate that agentic work with the human work. Give you a great example of a customer of ours, a retail bank in India, servicing mortgage lending, so helping millions of consumers in India become homeowners. It's a big initiative at a public policy level, and it's creating demand for mortgage and mortgage processing for all the retail banks. So how do they scale that from hundreds of applications a week to thousands of applications a week? Well, the big bottleneck is in the underwriting. It's the human work of inspecting the applications. Is all the data submitted the right data? Are the documents supporting the application the right documents? Does the data in those applications support the loan at the level that's requested? All of that work, which is typically done by mortgage underwriters, often in an outsourced service provider mode. Now, so much of that work can now be done on the OutSystems platform by agents that have specialized jobs and use LLMs to help process the documents to determine if they're the right ones, help process the data in the documents to determine if they help qualify for a loan. And it's helped them to take 90+% of the work out of the hands of the agents so they can then use the agents to just manage the exceptions. And what are the exceptions? Well, a lot of them, like 8 out of 10, it's like somebody scanned the wrong side of the page when they scanned their bank statement and turned it in. And so they get to deploy their human agents to go do the customer service, to reach out to those people and say, hey, looks like you scanned the wrong side of the page. Can I help you get this application up to date so we can get it progressed? And that helps them compete because they're not the only lender in the market. Other people are competing for that business. And the more they can take the mundane work out and empower employees to do higher value work with their customers, the more they can win and better service the needs of the market. So these are the kinds of agent human collaborations that we're excited to help customers bring to reality.
That's amazing. So to dive a little bit deeper into agentic AI and OutSystems, our whole community was really excited about the early access program for Agent Workbench. How do you see agentic AI playing into the future of OutSystems?
I'll start by saying I think it varies a bit. It varies a bit by the type of business you're in. Like I was meeting yesterday with a local government here in North America. They have policy challenges in their ambitions to use AI to help streamline the operations of the county government because of policy decisions made by the elected officials there who are in a go slow, wait and see, be careful mode when it comes to AI. I have other customers who are racing ahead. And when we come to have conversations about agentic AI, they're like, let me show you what we've already built. Like we've done all this work already. I think it does vary by industry. To a certain extent, it also varies by geography. But my core belief is that in the future and in the very near future, the vast majority of applications that we build in the enterprise will have agentic capability, kind of the same way that applications we build today all have databases and all have workflow and all have user interfaces. They're going to all have agentic capability too. I think it's just going to be part of everything that we build. And I think developers, and I think in many cases developers are doing this, but like I think this is why it's really important to lean into these technologies and think about them as part of every solution. In some cases, maybe most of every solution, most of the solution, In other cases, it might be relatively minor. I think many people who build software for a living are already well into using AI to help them in their own jobs. And you can think if it works for software engineering, gosh, couldn't it also work for all the other roles in the enterprise? And how can you be instrumental in bringing that kind of innovation to your company, to your business? And I think that's really kind of the way most people I'm talking to today are thinking about the future of agentic. It's part of every system that we build.
Absolutely. So we've just dealt with a little bit of feedback here, but you and the whole leadership team hear feedback near constantly from customers, partners, and developers. How do you prioritize that feedback and put it into action?
Great question. And it is, of course, like a big challenge. Right? There's a lot of feedback. It's not all the same. How do you decide what to do? I mean, there's some places where there is a cacophony of feedback that's all in the same direction, and that's a luxury. When customers and partners are all asking for the same thing. There are other areas where everybody is looking for something a little different. We use a process here. It's one that I've built my career on called the V2 MOM. It's an acronym. It stands for vision, values, methods, obstacles, and measures. Together, those things form a plan and a set of priorities for the company. So we've done that process as a leadership team since I started here at OutSystems to build a durable plan that is a vision for the future, where OutSystems is a leader in agentic AI, in AI in general, in software development powered by AI, and where we have a defined set of values that are important to us as we pursue that mission, like trust and customer success and alignment around our team. And then we have a set of priorities expressed in what we call methods. There are 7 at a company level for us today. And those are the methods that help us know what's the most important priority work and how do we align cross-functionally to do it. We also write down what makes it hard. We call that obstacles, and how we measure our success. Those are our measures. And we use that framework at the company level, but also all the way through the organization to make sure that we're being deliberate about our priorities. And we use the feedback from customers, from developers, from our partners as a means of prioritizing that work in the form of the V2 MOM. That's kind of the high level meta answer for how we do it here. We do have mechanisms for collecting that feedback. Live events is a great one. Join us at one, give your feedback in person, but also through the community, through the product itself. And we have teams whose job here is to synthesize that feedback and help us explore and understand it. And of course, we're using AI now to help us parse through it all, find patterns, and identify where we can have the greatest impact with the resources we deploy to build the product, or to manage the customer relationships, or to evolve our certification programs and make our support better. So all of those things feed into every process in the company and feed into the priorities in those V2 MOMs. Anyway, that's a little bit of inside baseball, but that's how we do it here.
Very cool. So I'd love to step away from OutSystems specifically for a moment and ask about your volunteering work. You've posted on LinkedIn to celebrate nonprofits that you've worked with, and Logan and I were really excited to see you bring the leadership team to volunteering events when you meet in person. Could you tell us about how giving back affects your leadership?
Well, this is a really important part of my life. And I feel like I've been very fortunate in life. And I feel like I have an obligation to give back to my community. And I do that in my own particular ways with my own particular priorities. A lot of my personal volunteering is focused on refugee communities and people seeking asylum, fleeing untenable conditions in their countries of origin. But that's just my work. I think it's really important for organizations and for individuals and for teams to contemplate their own good fortune and to think about how the conditions that got them where they are and how they can help foster those conditions for other people. I'm excited about showcasing some of what we're doing as a company in this regard at the One Conference later in the month. But I think it's something that we can all do in big and in small ways, bringing certainly our time as volunteers, our expertise. Many of you lean into our hackathon program where we work together to help solve problems at scale for nonprofits. I just love that effort that you've been doing here. That's Brant. You've been doing it for years. I'm just learning about it now, but that's super exciting. And our technology we can bring and help make nonprofits more effective. So that's all great work and all at our fingertips. And frankly, all of us can do it. So I hope everyone here will join in this effort in one way or another. But it is an important part of my life and of my work. and of how I think about leading the company and this community.
That's incredible. Giving back is so important, and we appreciate that you do that. To cycle back a little bit, in just a couple of weeks, we're bringing everyone together for the Global One conference in Lisbon, all of our customers and developers. I heard that you were passionate about getting together in person, and this should be a huge gathering. What are you most excited to see at the One conference?
People. Honestly, these days, many of us spend too much of our time in isolation, staring at screens and Zoom. Incredibly effective for communication, gives people a chance to live and work from lots of places they couldn't otherwise. But there is a cost to us, psychologically, I feel it. I'm just really excited to be able to get together with customers, with developers, with our partners, with our employees from around the world, and really focus on where we all have passion. This incredible platform and the projects and the products that we can deliver together. And I want to hear the feedback from developers. I want to meet you in person. I want to shake hands. I want to hear about your work. And I want to learn about what we need to do to better serve our whole community. I'll also say that I'm very excited about the product news that we're sharing about our Agent Workbench and where we're headed with that, what customers have been doing with it in the early access program. There's some incredible stories to share. I'm fired up to show everybody the next version of Mentor. I'm fired up to talk about interoperability between O11 and ODC and unveil a O11 roadmap for the community. So lots that I'm excited about. Can't wait.
Well, Woodson, you've been incredible. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we hope to have you back real soon.
Can't wait. Take care, guys.
Thanks. Now, in this episode, we talked a lot about Agent Workbench. If you would like to learn more about it and get notified when it goes into general availability, click on the link in the description below. If you want to get a head start on using it, be sure to check out the videos Rodrigo and Miguel made on Workbench. Links are also in the description below.
Well, thank you all for joining us for another episode of Decoded. If you were especially charmed by our marvelous hosting skills this episode, please join us for our next two, live from the Expo Hall floor at 1. We will see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.